Okay, this is part of chapter 1, and this is lesson 7. And what we're going to be talking about today is solving multiple comparison and combination situations. So we're going to start out with just looking at some combination situations. So we have combinations here, and actually they've already highlighted that for you. So a combination is a way of putting items together. You can find combinations in real world situations. So that's what we're going to do, is look at some real world situations and try to put some equations together to solve those. You guys are doing an excellent job with combinations. Appreciate the fact that some of you are using those tree diagrams with combination situations, and a lot of you are drawing pictures. Excellent way of doing it. I think only a few of us are getting kind of that understanding of how the equation relates, um, which is where we want to get to, but if we're still with pictures, that's excellent, so don't be afraid to draw pictures. Okay, so let's start right here. Bert's frozen yogurt shop serves 3 kinds of yogurt on 2 kinds of cones. How many different combinations are possible? And then write the equation. All right, so we have 3 different kinds of yogurt and 2 kinds of cones. So right over here, we've drawn a diagram to help get a visualization. So we have 2 different cones here, just a regular cone and then I can't even think of like a waffle cone. And then we have our 3 different um, flavors of yogurt. So chocolate, peach, and vanilla. And remember, in these story situations, when they don't give you specific, you can definitely draw out your diagram and just put in there, what works for you. Okay, so drawing out the picture, so we have 2 cones, each with a different type of flavor, which is going to give us a 2 by 3 or a 3 by 2, however you look at it. So 2 by 3. So 6 different combinations, or we can say a 3 by 2, 6 different combinations. So we'll say 6 combinations. Okay. Going on, we have today Bert's frozen yogurt shop started selling 4 different toppings to put on the top of the yogurt. Now how many combinations are possible? And then write your equation. All right, so now we still have the 2 different cones and the 3 different types of flavor of yogurt. But now on top of that, we're adding 4 different toppings. So we want to know how many different combinations do we have. And so we're going to drag this down a little bit and kind of take a picture or look at what the picture would look like. Okay, so you still have your 2 by 3s. So you have one here, another one here, 3, and 4. And then we've just put in the different types of toppings. And I apologize for that ringing phone here, but we're going to finish up. They can just leave a message. All right, so we have um, 4 different combinations built up here with the 3 different flavors and the 2 different cones. So what we could do is we could just go ahead and add up all these different combinations. So we have 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. But by 5th grade, we're hoping that we're kind of recognizing that repeated addition is the same as multiplication. So you have 4 groups of 6. So taking into what we did today with parentheses, what we could say in this new equation, if we added all of these 2 stories together, is that we first started out with 3 different types of flavors and 2 different types of cones. And once we were able to figure that out, we were going to take the amount of combinations from our flavors and our cones, so the 6 that appeared right here or up into this picture, and then we're going to multiply that number times the 4 different toppings, and that's going to give us our new total of combinations. So like we said earlier, let's do our parentheses first. So 3 times 2, we have 6. Bring down the rest of the equation, so 6 times 4, we have 24 combinations. Now I have arrows and drawings going all over the place, but I really was so excited to see some of you today, even on the assignment, that were, when you were trying to figure out how to put the equation together, you were drawing the picture first and then thinking backwards as to what the equation would look like. That is exactly what you should do. If you don't see that equation right away, draw that picture out, get a mental image of what's happening, and then go from there. Very exciting that you're realizing that. So let's do a couple more before we go on to talk about comparisons so that we're ready for tomorrow. All right, let's not skip ahead. Today's frozen yogurt shop serves 4 kinds of frozen yogurt on 2 different kinds of cone. The shop offers 3 kinds of toppings. Draw a table showing how many combinations are possible, then write your equation. What they're asking you to do, and your drawings can be totally different, and this is what we're going to practice in the classroom tomorrow. But just doing exactly what we just saw up here, a situation where you have your different cones. So you have 2 types of cones, and then you have your 4 different types of yogurt. So maybe you have chocolate, strawberry, vanilla, I don't know, maybe butterscotch. And building your table and seeing within your table those combinations. So we see we have 8 different combinations. And then we're going to add 3 different types of toppings like we did up here. So now we're going to have 3 tables that look like this. And then we're going to see that we have 8 plus 8 plus 8 to figure out how many combinations. Moving into that into an equation, we're going to start with our 2 cones times our 4 toppings, which we ended up over here with our 8. Um, and then we're going to multiply that by the kinds of toppings that we have, so by 3. So if we were to solve this, we would say 2 times 4, we have 8, times that by 3, and 8 times 3, we have 24 combinations. So what we're going to be working on tomorrow when we're doing multiple combinations is building those equations with parentheses. What are we going to do first? And then adding that second step into it to figure out how many combinations. Let's scroll all the way down and do one more here. I apologize for my voice again, you guys, so sorry about that. Let's go down to Armando is packing for vacation. He has 6 shirts, 3 pair of shorts, and 2 pairs of shoes. How many different outfits can he make? All right, so we can go exactly into what we just did, and we can say we have the 6 shirts on top, so you can maybe make them blue, black, red, green, where am I at, 4, I don't know, purple, and yellow. And then we have our 3 different shorts. So drawing that out. 3 different shorts. Maybe we have khaki shorts, we have blue shorts, and red shorts. So you might first start out and look at how many combinations you have there. You have a 3 by 6. So when you add these up, you should have 18. And then from there, we're going to make a second one. So maybe we'll add this one with our tennis shoes. And maybe our other shoes are our Pumas or some sort of cool shoe in another box, which replicates this. So now we would have 18 plus 18 to equal our total. Or we can write out that equation and say that we had 6 shirts, let's do that in parentheses, times the 3 pair of shorts. So we're going to figure out how many combinations we have just shirts and shorts. And once we figure that out, we're going to multiply that against the 2 different types of shoes that we have to equal our total combinations. So if we look down, we have 18 times 2, we double 18. We should come up with 36 combinations. Please don't expect or think that anything's wrong with you if you can't get to this right away, if this is still confusing. Draw out those pictures and get that understanding of what's happening before you worry about getting to the equation. All right, let me check just how time we have. Awesome. All right. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to review comparison problems. And I hate calling them problems. I like calling them situations. But when we're comparing 2 things, and I really encourage you guys to use comparison bars. So let's look at a couple of these quick and then move on. So Maria scored 6 points in the basketball game. Suzanne scored 4 times as many points as Maria. How many points did Suzanne score? All right, so you can just, when we do comparison bars, you can just make one bigger than the other. All right, so Maria scored 6 points, and Suzanne scored 4 times as many of those points. You could kind of think of it like this. Um, you can say times 4, or some of you really liked making it 4 times as big, and I'm probably doing a horrible job here because that is not a good picture. But and then you did 6 4s up here to figure out that she had scored 24 points. All right, so either way works, just taking 6 times 4 to figure out the top. So maybe your comparison bar looked like 6 here. You knew that this one was 4 times 6, and then you get your 24. So either way, or sometimes making those, those fraction bars. So we should have 24 points. Moving on to the next one, we have, let's get this, Ramon scored 10 points at the volleyball game. That was 5 times as many as David's score. How many points did David score? And they put a hint in there. Did David score more or fewer points than Ramon? Right, so Ramon scored 10 points at the volleyball game. That was 5 times as many as David. So it's 5 times David. So David should be less. So let's make our comparison bars. Okay, so we have 10 points for Ramon, and we're trying to figure out David. Okay, so whatever this number is for David, 5 times it will give you Ramon's. So we need to ask ourselves that question, what number times 5 equals 10? Okay, and so if we did it kind of like D times 5 equals 10, what would D be? And you should find that David should be 2. Okay. So David scored 2 points. Just kind of looking at it as how many more, how many less. Let's move down to one where we're talking about a fraction of. Okay, so we have Dana has 9 CDs. She has 1/5 as many as Sonia. How many CDs does Sonia have? All right. So if Dana has 9, 1/5 of those as many is, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. 1/5 as many as Sonia. So when we look at that, I'm going to redraw that. Goodness, I'm losing my train of thought. So we have 1/5 as many as Sonia. So Sonia's up here and Dana's down below. So you have to kind of, drawing out the picture even helps me. So don't even be afraid to draw the picture, you guys, and kind of think it through. So if Dana has 9, 1/5 of 9 is what Sonia has. So if you took 9 and put this into 5 groups and did 9 in 5 groups, you would have what Sonia has, because this is 1 out of the 5 of Sonia's group. So you're going to take and add up those 9 5 times, okay, or multiply it, and you should end up with 45 CDs. Okay, so 1/5 of that, or 1/9 of that, excuse me. All right, and we're going to tackle some more of those together in class tomorrow. And I see that we're kind of running out of time here. But tomorrow we'll be working on combinations and comparisons. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at school.